Well, now, of course, given I've got a couple of big results today, let's pick one of them for our stock of the day. We have gone with CSL. Of course, we know where that stock has gone. It's a perennial favourite here on the call, and real divergence of opinion too of what is to come for this company. So it expects to deliver a 5% increase in underlying profit growth in FY27, but ward revenues will be flat due to a sharp fall in sales for its Vifor kidney and iron deficiency business. FY26 bringing a 2% fall in underlying earnings to 4.4 billion, in line with downgraded forecasts. A net loss of 2.6 billion US, its first earnings loss since it listed in 1994. That was related to its Vifor kidney treatment subsidiary, and also due to restructuring and impairment costs. Revenue down 1% to 15.8 billion US, slightly higher than forecast. It is forecasting mid-single-digit revenue growth for its core blood plasma bearing business this year, declining US immunisation rates weighing on its Seqirus vaccines arm, and CSL blaming the forecast 25% fall in revenue for Vifor is due to competition in iron products and changes in Medicare payments. So that said, at the time of recording, the stock is currently up almost 17%. Not a bad bounce, David. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. And this is the beautiful thing with stocks, is that they all have different phases. Okay, they move in three phases. You have the accumulation phase, which is where no one's interested in it. The public participation, which is where it starts to get momentum, starts to trend. And then the excess phase, which is where everyone loves it and it can do no wrong. And back in 2023, I did a post about that saying that CSL is one of the greatest stocks on the ASX. It's been a wealth winner for over a decade, maybe two. But every stock moves in three phases, even the best. And no one would believe that it's in distribution right now, hence why it is. And that was back when it was up around those high 200s. So no one thought that maybe it might be being sold off around those areas, and then all of a sudden it gets sold off. Drops under $100, and then it's the opposite. It can do no right. Everyone hates it. Everyone's calling for lower. And when I was on the call about a month ago with Howard from Team Invest, I broke down that daily short-term chart there, saying that we'd had 4 gap downs. We had a gap down in August last year, and then when it gapped, it just kept going down. And then it gapped again, kept selling off, gapped again, kept selling off. But that last gap was different, because that last gap, it gapped down, and then the market used it as a buying opportunity. And I talked about the fact that that's not a breakaway gap, it's an exhaustion gap. And then from there, we called it a buy. It's now up really well. I talked about the fact that I'd bought it down there at $94 back in June. I did write a News Corp article about it then as well, talking about healthcare putting in a generational bottom. So I guess the question now is, what are you trying to get out of the stock now? Are you trying to make money over the next few weeks or months, or are you trying to invest in it in the long term? If you're trying to make money in the short term, this is where I'm actually looking to take some profit on the trading account. Okay, so somewhere in this 160 to 180 is an area we're starting to get overbought now, where actually traders might start to take profit. You got to remember, CSL is up over 65% in less than 2 months. So some massive gains. Traders are going to take profit. However, if you zoom out and look at the big picture, you look at those quarterly candles where every candle is worth 3 months, you'll notice that all it's actually done is retrace that whole move. It's just put in a bullish engulfing. It was extremely oversold on that 3-monthly chart, and the move is only just bottomed on the big term. So as an investor, it's only just bottomed and it's just begun. And I believe it's going to take out the new highs eventually. However, in the short term, you might get some healthy pullbacks and some consolidation. So I guess what I'm trying to say is probably towards the top of a wave, but the beginning of a new secular bull market for CSL and healthcare. So would I buy it today? Probably not. I don't like chasing things that are up 65% in 2 months. But if there was any significant pullback, I would definitely be looking to accumulate more.
I'm going to take that as a hold then. With that prospect of what you've just said there. Interesting. All right, there's the technicals too. Let's take a look at the fundamentals. Fergus, what are you seeing? Is the worst past it?
Yeah, so I mean, I agree. I think it's a hold as well, just to sort of put that up the top. But it's one we have unfortunately got a lot of clients who have very historic holdings who have had it since it was sort of in the 200s. but it's now one. It's basically as soon as it got around to the $100 mark, it just seemed like crazy value. It was time to sort of start adding positions, particularly those who have got very high cost bases. It just seemed like a no-brainer. It's just too high a quality company to sort of be trading down there. It was our kind of belief. So we kind of started adding new positions and topping up positions at around that $100 mark, and obviously seen it bounce right back, which has been very nice. And so a lot of our sort of historic holdings are only now kind of back to where they were a little while ago. Our view of CSL has just been pretty negative. I mean, I think it just had it was kind of in the sin bin for us for a while, having missed just a few really disappointing results in a row. And basically as soon as you miss guidance 3 or 4 times in a row, in our view, you're in the sin bin. We're not adding it to any portfolios anytime soon. But now this might be sort of some confidence, provide some confidence to the market that this is kind of the bottom. Sort of the earnings trough is what we might refer to it as, and it's onwards and upwards from here, we hope. But yeah, I think absolutely right. Where I think he's probably going to get some profit takers for those who bought it very well in that sort of $90, $100 mark. It would make sense for them to be sort of taking a bit of profit now. So no need to sort of rush back in. I think there's plenty of upside over the long term, but yeah, I think it's definitely one to keep an eye on, and if you do see a bit of a sell-off, to maybe top up.
All right, so both holding CSL, potentially with some opportunity to buy in the future. That is our stock of the day.